This is Brett Bennett for Brett Bennett's Movie Reviews, here to review Pacific Rim. This is a good film bordering on greatness and then kind of goes back to being okay. You've got some really confident action parts, and one of the parts I really love is there's a second fight in the middle of Hong Kong. Toro does a really good job of this picture for the most part. He tries to inject emotion as much as he can. It's pretty wacky, and I give it credit for taking chance. My friend Matt Huntley didn't think that it took chances. I think it does. I think this is like a weird dream of a 12-year-old. Japanese animation or manga is weirder than this, but this is as weird as America gets in that realm. The monsters are really, really inventive and crazy. As the film nears its climax, the monsters don't get any weirder. The design stalls and it shows the stuff that we've kind of seen before. And I would have preferred some kind of magical surprise of the monster design, which is not at the ending. Okay, things I like about this movie. There's a lot. Okay, action scenes, like I said before, just amazing. I mean, it really, really feels like these robots are going off. And even if you feel like they're CGI, it's not that photorealistic. But you feel like, wow, it really has a weight. It really feels like things are getting crunched.
Come on, let's do this!
And you just love the mayhem. You love the craziness of it because it really is weird if you think about what is going on about one robot picking up a battleship or a ship and using it as a bat against a monster that's screaming and has, blue tongue and blue energy beams and blue acid. Guillermo del Toro does not direct American actors very well, and I mean that by Anglo-Saxon actors. I think he's much more confident with his home country, his own dialect, and I'm talking about Pan's Labyrinth or Devil's Backbone, these Mexican or Spanish productions. These are really strong performances, and I don't think he quite understands American cadence, or he tries to go over the top like a Top Gun effect that happens in this film. It's way too broad. It's really cheesy and on the nose. Now, I can't say that I hated the leads, but I don't think they added anything significantly to the film at all, which is a shame because they are the leads. Idris Elba, though, he brings it back up.
Marshall, can we just talk about this for 1 second? You rescued her. You raised her. You're not protecting her now. You are holding her back.
1, don't you ever touch me again. 2, don't you ever touch me again.
Again, Ron Perlman, he only has a little bit to do in this film, and he does amazing. And here, I'm going to get to this another point. This is a subtle point, but had the film been confidently betting its chips on the comedy that Ron Perlman brought to it, it would have went from an 8 to a 9 right away. I think that they did not know where the bread was buttered, and they kind of played around with the humor, but they tried to ground it too much. And really, it would have been fun as a really whacked out, almost cult classic type film with Ron Perlman really taking the lead there, because he just shined. And he clearly outshone the leads just for the 10-15 minutes he was in the film. Another thing about the film that does not work is they crib and borrow too much from films we've seen before, and this happens on postmodern films. They crib and borrow from stuff that the director has seen before, and they weave it in a way that's a little generic. So the stuff of, let's say, Blade Runner, where you got the Hong Kong backgrounds in this film, it reminds me a lot of Blade Runner. I mean, the imagery is taken from there. The anime manga world obviously lends itself to the creatures and the robots. So it's a little bit like an impression of those things without being completely original, and that was in the back of my head when I saw it. But let's talk about the things that went right. The things that went right in this film are many. Okay, first of all, the emotional backbone that's in this film is very strong. Everybody has a reason, a really strong reason to go after these monsters, and it's not so shallow. There's an emotional punch to it, and that I liked. The special effects. I mean, this film has got to be the Oscar winner for special effects. What it tries to do, the weight, the physicality, the rain, the atmosphere, and it generally is scary, that scale. And you actually feel like you're in that movie fighting those monsters. You feel like it would be a fearful thing to fight them.
2 pilots engaged in neural bridge. Ready to activate the Jaeger in 3, Watch.
I just wish Guillermo del Toro would have hang on some of these shots because the art direction is so amazing. You really want to see the detail of those cities and all this. It's an art director's wet dream. It truly is. It's what I, as an artist, respond to. And that alone, again, brings it to a 7 or 8. Finally, there is something that doesn't quite work with the Japanese woman character. She's this badass established about in the middle of the film. Great combat skills, great intelligent mind, great motivation to go after the monsters, but you really don't get a payoff to any of that. She's kind of still in the background, even as the film kind of concludes. That's unfortunate. That's a big script miss. But for this 12-year-old dream world that's brought to life in a love letter to Godzilla, even down to the sound and the score, dun dun dun, all that monster stuff. And the reason why American audiences are not responding to this film is because I think it does borrow from the Japanese culture in a way that Americans are not familiar, not comfortable with. They don't have the Brad Pitt or the Shia LaBeouf to ground this film and go, oh, that's an American. I know it is. It's got an international cast. That's what dooms this film. You got Idris Elba from England, you got Mako from Japan, and you got Charlie Day. I guess he's from Australia or New Zealand. This is a great film on some levels. On other levels, it becomes juvenile, but it mixes to an 8 out of 10 for me. It's worth watching. This is Brett Bennett for Brett Bennett's Movie Reviews, out.